mom. All right. So, YouTube, we're watching a video about some nigga that I think that
for a treat
scorn mammography
or not today.
And I saw him
so
on Instagram.
I'm doom scrolling on Twitter because the world.
Yo, bro, you're not gonna cut me off. Cracking eggs over like bitches and shit.
The road is on fire, and we're all covered in oil. And NCAA football's not out yet, and I just need a mental moment to like just not be in the world for a second. Maybe it was God saying, let me remind you, the internet is awful. And the reminder was a song that popped up in my feed. The song is Jumper by Brian Pumper featuring Prodigy, as in Prodigy from Mobb Deep.
Yeah, this nigga, doesn't he like, isn't he a porn star? Oh, damn, fuck.
Mobb Deep being a legendary New York rap duo from the 90s, responsible for some of the most iconic songs in New York gangster rap.
It's not bad.
From the 90s, responsible for some of the most iconic songs.
That's a whole nigga. I know a nigga who dead look like her, and she look more like him. I mean, she not that valid. I mean, she not that bad, but
songs in New York gangster rap history, such as Temperature Rising, Keep It Thorough, Quiet Storm, Shook Ones Part 2. There would not be New York drill music if Mobb Deep did not exist. Prodigy specifically lived with sickle cell anemia and sadly passed away from it on June 20th of 2017. And this song was released on June 29th.
This nigga just equated, I'm sorry, I really gotta, this nigga just said the seeds of Mobb Deep is the reason K-Flock was made. I want everybody to, I want that to sit.
2000.
If you're over the age of 30, I don't want you to comment.
So this is arguably one of the last recordings released to feature Prodigy, and it's a song from Brian Pumper. To set the stage on how bizarre and horrifying this is, I'm just gonna play some of the song, and I guess part of the promotional video that Pumper released with it.
Why you don't see me get no guap? Why you don't see me hit no thoughts? Why you don't see me in no spots? Why you don't see me shoving no block? Yo nigga with a leaf growing out your neck. Yo nigga spreading rumors, you don't get checked. Yo nigga dead in mud, you don't get blessed. Yo nigga smell like old rug, you don't get sex. Why you don't see me get no guap? Why you don't see me hit no thoughts? Why you don't see me?
You a nigga with a leaf growing out your neck. For those who don't know, Brian Pumper is a weirdo nigga legend. In an era before cringe rage bait content, before live streaming and shitty prank videos in Walmart and all the dregs that is social media entertainment today, along with OnlyFans, he was a pioneer, better yet a harbinger of just how awful social media would become. He was a lolcow before there were lolcows. He was an OnlyFans creator before there was an OnlyFans. He was a SoundCloud rapper before there was SoundCloud.
Boy Pumper, fuck all the haters. Anybody that got anything to say, I know y'all want me to die. I'm here with my nigga Gilbert right now. We cooking it up. New Pumper joint called Poof. They want my page to go poof. They want my page to go poof.
This is the PCP dance. Everybody hit the PCP dance. This is the fentanyl slip. That's.
I don't know this.
No, if somebody sampled this though, put it on the drill beat. On my soul,
he was a legend for all the wrong reasons, and it occurs to me how wild it is that he was doing these antics in the mid 2000s to the mid 2010s, and it feels like his style of ridiculousness would be incredibly popular in today's chronically online, irony poison meme era. The current world of social media that has given us Groovin' Gorilla. The guy that eats food really sloppily.
I hate when niggas like that ass, bro. It just, because this is so unnecessary. Why are you squeezing your burger? It's not even funny. It just looks stupid. Like, and it's not like, I don't interact with things that I don't like. So it's like this shit. And this nigga's a grown man double fisting a damn burrito
while making weird noises. The Hawk Tour Girl, Peaches McIntyre, and so much more. In this current era, Brian Pumper would be a god. So where was he actually? He should be here. And like, not in a good way, just like, it feels like the timeline is off a little bit. So because I have the brain of a gremlin, I started Googling, trying to figure out what was going on and where he was. And my research gave me an answer. He's in jail. At least I think. It's hard to ascertain and feel extremely confident about his whereabouts. But from what I've seen, it seems like he's in prison. In terms of what he's in prison for, it's probably something really bad. This brings me to an important part. Let's get to some content. This is a light work, but this guy's story is not going to be light the whole time. As you can ascertain from the rap song I just played, there are some laughs to be had at this man's expense, but he's not just some harmless goof. He's at a minimum a sex pest and a creep who's been pretty vile toward women as a part of his brand. And at worst, he's a convicted sexual predator. But again,
why didn't anybody tell me? What the fuck? Y'all gotta start briefing. Nah, that's how Corey's Ken should be. I should keep that in. Too late. It's whatever. You know I don't edit these bitches.
Confirmation on that is iffy at best.
Production.
At the same time, as I've illustrated thus far, it's kind of fascinating in the grand scheme of things, because by today's standard, his behavior and what he's been doing is almost normal. And that says something pretty scary and dark about the de-evolution of social media content, that a guy that was a goof and a lolcow 10 years ago would probably be a huge social media phenomenon today. And word on the street is he may be coming out of jail relatively soon, probably by the time you watch this, which means that his return to the internet is imminent. So it might be useful to brace yourself and figure out what you're in for. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Lastly, for the sake of this video being monetized, I'm gonna be doing a lot of self-censoring that will come off silly. I find that people who are not constant consumers of YouTube don't understand that saying certain words and playing it to certain images will get your videos demonetized and taken off of YouTube. So if you hear me say corn instead of another word, or PDF file instead of a word that, if you say PDF file really fast,
whoa. That nigga's a what? Wait, hold on. We just raised it another notch. Production.
Trying to get what's happening. It's not because I think it's cute and funny. It's because this is my job, and maybe you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So why don't you shut up in my comment section? Stay tuned at the end to see how you can help me avoid stuff like this in the future. Because after doing this, this is not going to be my last video on corn, but I'm not going to do a corn video on YouTube. I'm just not going to deal with that type of trouble. It'll be on Nebula. All right, you've been warned. So Brian Pumper, aka Michael.
So the creator of Blazy Susie, why do your papers always unravel? That's all. I'm sorry.
Felton was reportedly born in 1981 in Long Island, New York, and from an early age, he claims that—
What the fuck? This nigga's from the towns? He's from the island? He live in the island? What? Nah, he's an out east nigga. He's probably from Nassau in all reality, but he's an out east nigga. He definitely got ties from out east. Only out east niggas to do some shit like that. Crack eggs on bitches' heads? Fuck no. Niggas
have had a intense sexual appetite.
Around 17, and I actually watched a lot of adult films. I was a popular kid back in high school, banging a lot of girls for free. I had a healthy sex life. I was have all the energy in the world to whack off to my favorite porn. I'm like, yo, I'm 17, you know, like I'm fucking all these bitches.
I don't know if it's appropriate to identify Pumper as an addict at this time, because addiction isn't explicitly about doing something too much. But as his story goes on, it does become clear that his need for a particular activity and his obsession with filming corn cause self-destructive behavior, which definitely is a marker of addiction. I'll let you be the judge. After high school, Pumper found his way into the corn industry, which was his dream at the time. And from the outside looking in, it seemed like a perfect fit. Whether black or white, men in the corn industry aren't always the best looking guys or the most charismatic or interesting. And being a male corn star is extremely difficult because most men literally aren't built like that. Aside from having to have a certain anatomy, you also have to be able to use that anatomy in ways that are essentially unnatural. You have to be ready at the drop of a dime, regardless of what you've seen or heard, or what some pills that are being advertised to you on the internet, on your favorite sites are trying to tell you. It is not normal for men to be able to perform certain activities for extended periods of time repeatedly without rest or recovery. But according to everything I've seen about Brian Pumper, he never had any of those problems. He was also a good looking and muscular guy, although he was only 5'8". Also, interestingly, he was an anomaly within the industry for a black man because he was lighter skinned. Because of how racism and sexism intersect, specifically for black men, you find that lighter-skinned black men are paradoxically the opposite of lighter-skinned black women on the social hierarchy when it comes to desirability. So, in a lot of media, including Korn, you will rarely see black men who are lighter skinned embodying dominant, hypermasculine, and desirable images for black men. And specifically that buck embodiment, that mandingo racialized fetish that black men really have to have for Korn. Lighter skinned men just don't do it for the white.
This nigga's an addict. What the fuck is he talking about? What is a mandingo? He needs to explain what the fuck he just said. I don't know what he means. Like, mandingo? What the fuck does that mean? I don't fuck bitches in mandingo form. I don't know. Oh, I don't be on porn, so damn it.
Men that love Korn so much.
I hope I don't get this shit.
Speaking of which,
like
Adam 22 is where I got a lot of this information from. He is literally the number one source of information for Brian Pumper on the internet and YouTube. And I'm gonna give him a rare shout out for helping to make this video possible. And Pumper was also popular in the early 2000s, which was when a guy like 50 Cent and still at the time DMX had been performing this erotic thug image that probably started with Tupac. So we're talking
just buff black people. This nigga's not. I don't feel like this nigga's trying to seduce me in any way. I think he's just shirtless and been to jail a couple times.
About baggy clothes, wife beaters, tattoos, a little musculature, and lots of jewelry. It was a specific look that many a lady and men love to desire, specifically from black men. And Pumper modeled himself after that image. And this made him a huge star, relatively speaking, pretty early on within the world of film. Right. He won a lot of awards and it got a lot of bookings, and he was very, very popular. However, lots of bookings and acclaim doesn't actually equate for fame and fortune in that world, especially for men. Today, in the world of non-traditional media and OnlyFans,
you gotta be like a gay nigga. You gotta be really not. All right, I'm gonna speed this up. I'm gonna let like 5 minutes pass. You gotta be a gay nigga to get bread from like doing like male. Like that's really the only way like male orange stars get paid. Is like strictly like it's really off the gay shit.
A few men are able to make a significant amount of coin off of their God-given abilities, or at least a combination of their abilities and their antics as S-workers. However, back then in the Korn industry, it was actually one of the few places where men were significantly underpaid in comparison to the women, at least in front of the camera. At the time, a moderately successful and busy female actress could command around $1,000 per scene, depending on the nature of the scene. And more successful men could demand much more. But the average man was only going to make a few $100s at most per scene. However, this is, again, in front of the camera, because behind the scenes, the Korn industry at the time was just as patriarchal as any other industry, if not more. It was the directors and producers who got to dictate the terms and the means of production, and Pumper set his eyes on being a director and producer. Because of his popularity, and he seemed to be a pretty smart or at least ambitious guy and had been successful up until that point, he landed himself a distribution deal with Korn production company Evil Angel, and this is where we should be seeing his star greatly rise, but this is probably where the story starts to take the ugly turn. And looking again at the many other interviews that Adam 22 has done with black male Korn stars, along with interviews from some female workers, you start to get the image that Brian Pumper wasn't very well.
This was the Beatle nigga, the autistic guy. That's not me making fun of him. I thought that was him.
Liked behind the scenes, and was probably slowly being pushed out of the industry.
He kept showing up to set with girls.
What, nigga?
Just hanging out.
And the directors kept telling him not to do it because you're just bringing random fucking girls on set.
Yeah.
We don't know if they're tested, and then other dudes don't want to fuck them because they are pretty.
I ain't like Pumper because he be wanting girls to come on set like Stain. He'd be like, don't wash your ass. Pumper. Oh, Pumper was a...
Hold on, what?
I didn't really like working with him.
What is
He
this though? Like, why the...
Like he was, what is like a fetish? He had like a funk fetish. Is he in jail?
It seems that he was building up a reputation for being difficult or really just weird. And we're talking about weird for the Korn industry, which is a different level of weird.
I think this nigga just like the smell of pussy, but like, like he probably did like, really, like, he was probably one of them like get out the gym type niggas and just like get the strip. Cause I keep it real, like Uchi does have like it smells like sex. a lot like if you really be like, if you like, you know what I'm trying to say, like it smells like buns sometimes when you be cracking it, but it should never stink. It should never feel like, oh my gosh, this is what's rancid. This is rancid. Like, no, I've never felt like this is rancid. But you know, I do smell. I know what the smell of like bun smells like, bro. Just sweat and skin. That's.
I want to be clear. I am pro sex work and pro sex worker. However, I am.
Told you, he's an OG gooner right here. This is an OG gooner.
Not pro-sex industry, if that makes sense. I actually have a background in working in anti-child sex trafficking in Atlanta, Georgia. And it's a popular and very progressive stance to just say, oh, sex work is work and we just want to support sex workers, etc. But that often tends to oversimplify what the sex industry looks like for the actual workers and how much they are exploited and how vulnerable they are, because the commodity within that industry is literally women's bodies a lot of times. So there's so much room for bad things to happen, because so many of these women are unprotected explicitly because of how other people view sex work. There's a lot more to say about this. I actually have some suggestions for some media that you can look at the end of the video. But this is B-sides. We're already like 1,000 words in. I haven't even gotten to the funny and weird stuff yet. I'm only saying this to say that the fact that Brian Pumper was becoming such a pariah in that industry, that he's being blackballed by people, speaks to how bad he must have been behind the scenes. And there's not a ton of stories of him doing anything specifically harmful on set, but it's clear that he made people uncomfortable, including the men. And folks start putting them on their no list, as in they were not willing to work with him in scenes. There are stories about him specifically having a smell funk fetish that has had him stealing people's toilet paper. It's like not to shame anybody's specific fetish, but like within a professional realm of that type of work.
Shame these niggas. Shame these nasty ass, stink ass niggas. I'm shaming you niggas. I'm throwing straight shame on you niggas. That shit is nasty. You should not. That nigga is taking toilet paper out of the toilet and trash can. That nigga is nasty. That nigga makes sure you can't wash your ass. She's like, oh my gosh, this is the lady. Oh my gosh, Brian, I can't, there's no toilet paper. I don't want to start right now. He's like, oh no, yeah, you know, we can get this shit started right now. Nasty fuck. This nigga need, this nigga.
The type of environment that you create. I don't know. We're talking about weird shit that's gonna get this video demonetized. And the wild thing is, the things that people didn't like about him isn't even what got him fired from his Evil Angel role.
He was out shooting girls without tests. Mm-hmm. And then both owners of Evil Angel have HIV. You know, whoa. The owner and his wife.
Yeah.
The John Stagliano and his wife.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
So they don't fuck around.
They're not fucking around. And then at the time that you do this, they're in a huge obscenity charge case, millions of dollars of a case that they're fighting right now. And you do this, and you go out and you shoot a girl, and then you go test her after you shoot her, and then the test comes back dirty. What if it was something worse than it was?
This is a huge faux pas within the industry for obvious reasons. Condom usage is pretty much non-existent. So the only way the industry keeps from having huge outbreaks of STDs is to constantly test everyone and keep a closed loop on who gets to participate in the industry. And to the credit of the industry, it seems like it works pretty well. STD breakouts tend to be very rare, and that's often because the people who break protocol are blacklisted permanently for just one mistake. But here's where we get to whether or not Pumper was a genuine addict, because he was really into filming scenes and was constantly on the hunt for new women to shoot scenes with, and was very successful at this, but he would constantly not do the proper paperwork or appropriately test and vet the women that he did.
Is this nigga... So that means he's trying to like live stream porn? Oh no. That's the next, one of you kick niggas is gonna do that. Y'all are literally, like, there's probably a nigga in like Texas right now running down on bitches. Like how there be niggas in like Walmart trying to like bag old bitches. This nigga, if he's trying to, that means if this, he was trying to like live stream the catch, but he can't show you the feast. This nigga's he's different. And also whatever, like this huge ass slinky he got on his fucking
did these scenes with before working
tight ass do-rag.
After being released by Evil Angel, Pumper fully set out by creating his own production company, yet he also decided to go full steam ahead into trying to break out as a rapper. something that he had if that earlier in his career. I mentioned before that he modeled a lot of his look and persona off 50 Cent, but for anyone there at the time, you know that the running joke was that
like on purpose, because this is how like niggas dressed. Like this isn't like the best photo. I mean, like color wise, yeah.
Brian Pumper was Corn Lloyd Banks. Lloyd Banks being a member of 56 G Unit label and like group collective or whatever. Okay, and Lloyd specifically doesn't add anything to this story, but he was a relatively big deal at the time, and the likeness between him and Brian Pumper was something that constantly actually got them confused and probably unnaturally raised Brian Pumper's profile as a possible rapper. Except for the fact that Brian Pumper was an awful rapper.
Lighters up. You gon' roll your blunt, you gon' smoke your weed. You gon' drink your liquor, you gon' blow your trees. Baby mama bugging, she on that shit. You in the club, ain't thinking about that bitch. All the shorties is right, little mama tough. You tryna some shit. You ain't I'm gonna drop my shit. You ain't a bus cat. What the fuck, man? You don't take cabs. You don't ride tracks. Shorty don't.
Way too big to be doing this shit. I swear, a forearm could just go wrong. A nigga whole face would crack in. Chains, I do a whole loop, clip through a nigga neck. Ah!
Yeah, here's where things start getting bizarre.
Niggas too big to be doing that shit.
Brian Pumper was a horrible rapper, but not just like in a typical sense of having bad.
This nigga definitely had to take steroids. No nigga on earth look like this. Not like on a day to day, bro. I've literally never seen a nigga look like this. This nigga, like, his arms are just like, my son Mel's got arms like my son Mel's is 2 pairs of arms, but that nigga, nah, bro. This is definitely steroids, bro. I don't even know. This nigga look like a wrestler. That's what these is wrestler muscles, bro. This nigga looks like a WWE superstar.
Rhymes or whatever.
Triple H and John Cena
rap
pull this shit
immediately feels like parody. It feels silly. It's like Weird Al Yankovic, except he's being serious. He's the Tommy Wiseau of rap.
Mushy, mushy, that slick wet tushy. I beat it up the frame, I handle that pussy. I brings the biz, yeah, I brings it. I beat it up the frame, I
rap.
Mushy, mushy.
Mushy, mushy. Mushy, mushy. All right.
That slick wet tushy. I beat it up the frame. I handle that pussy. I brings the biz. Yeah, I brings it out.
King Daily. King Daily. I'm King Daily. King Daily.
The nature of the
Yo, he backed out beef on camera. Pause.
bag dance is a simple 2-step foot movement. When the hands are low, you're just simply moving like this.
This is how fentanyl addicts work.
When the hands are high, you're twisting the hand, meaning that you have the bags in the actual hand.
This nigga give me dance tutorials on how to look like a fentanyl addict in a fentanyl addict fit. And wow, why the fuck he got this LA fit on?
Do your bag dance. Do your bag dance. Do your bag dance. Do your bag dance.
But it also matched his persona that you would see in interviews and behind the scenes and other media that he comes out with in this era. Like, Pumper just seems off and seems oblivious to how he looks to other people. In so many of the media that he does that is outside of his corn, he is clearly being like bullied and made fun of by other people, by other black men specifically. And if you know, there's a posture that black men take on with other black men when they're sunning them.
Right now. On, son. Is that the beef bump? Yo, no, this is official shit. Wanna know how it's official? How we know that's really beef bump shit? What beef bump? He right there. He right there. Oh shit. He right there. I just got it from him, son. He let me hold it. He said I could go. How much is worth, nigga? Yo, 100,000. 100,000? 100,000. Look, it even got the air holes for the diamonds to breathe, son.
Bro, like this since niggas is broke.
Did you get some pussy last night? Are you due for a fun time with the girl?
Confused. Let me tell you exactly what it is so you understand, so you're not confused about the way I look at you and I view you. You're a fucking clown. That's the bottom line.
And he was either playing like this Andy Kaufman
This nigga got bitched.
type character, or just genuinely unable to read the room and figure out how he looked to other people. And that translated so much in his music because he didn't know how to stay on beat, he didn't know how to dance, he didn't know how to perform, the faces he makes were just wrong, but he had like no sense of stopping. He would accompany many of his films with music videos and songs, and it was top tier cringe content that was never going to give him any real shine as a rapper. But this is the late 2000s, and there was one place on the internet at that time where cringe content, corn, and bad rap music merged into one awful concoction. You would be hard pressed to convince me that World Star Hip Hop is not a CIA psyop on black culture. I don't have time to get into it. It would need its own video. But before YouTube and TikTok and other streaming platforms had really figured out how to monetize virality, Warstar Hip Hop was radically shaping culture in horrifying ways. It was one of the most popular places to see any viral video, but it had a significant thirst. The cicadas are loud as fuck.
Cicadas, nigga, fuck you live at, nigga?
Damn cicadas. Oh, thirsty asses. It saw millions of viewers in traffic regularly, but the problem was they didn't pay anyone anything for their content, so you basically got paid in attention. So like going viral, shouting World Star, that was its own thing. And so while Brian Pumper was constantly popping up on World Star because of his horrible videos and becoming really the most well-known corn star in the world, he wasn't really making money off the virality of these moments. And to make things worse, as we move into the early 2010s and the mid 2010s, the type of content that he was making money off of was becoming more accessible on other websites and not in that DVD era where you had to, you know, rent corn. I don't know. So in response to this, Pump returned.
Keep putting up. I have a question for you niggas that watch X videos. I be talking to this one shorty who said she had like a little porn addiction. X videos sucks, bro. And I'm not a huge porn. Damn it. I ain't gonna lie. I hope this shit don't get shut down. I'm not a huge corn guy. I wasn't really. But I had my little moment. X videos fucking sucks. The hub sucks. Their videos, the good videos are mad short, bro. I need the long videos. The 20-minute joints. Yes, with everything for free. Bro, I don't know how you niggas be watching these low quality ass sites with this low quality ass content, with this 10-minute ass video, and fucking 3 minutes of the 10-minute video is these niggas talking, laughing it up, and her shaking ass. Nobody gives a fuck. Put it in your mouth. Bro, we need to remake good corn, bro. And I don't even watch this shit. It's just fuck.
Turned up the antics and tried to do whatever he could to draw attention to himself. And one of the first big breakthroughs he had was doing a film with one Montana Fishburne, the daughter of notable black actor Lawrence Fishburne. This story got significant mainstream news attention as Montana prominently stated that she was trying to pull up Paris Hilton or Kim Kardashian, trying to break into the media landscape through corn. However, Montana Fishburne was black, so it didn't work like that. And after the fact, it actually turns out that unlike the women that she said she was modeling herself after, she seemed to have either been, I don't know the full story, but it said that her boyfriend was a pimp and that she had actually shot other scenes before she even got to Brian Pumper. And she also had addiction issues. It's a lot. It's hard to say. It's a pretty ugly story. From what I understand, her and her father still aren't talking because of this.
Montana Fishburne, daughter of Oscar-nominated actor Lawrence Fishburne, is proudly going into porn and wants everyone to see her movie. We got some clips.
What the fuck? Why is this on the news? But I was about to say, that's actually sad as fuck. Damn.
From her movie, Montana says this is.
I was like, I honestly, like, in her position, if she was really like an addict with a pimp for a boyfriend, that I'm not gonna lie, that was an amazing thought process behind her. She just did it the wrong way.
Her way to explore her sexuality, and she wants her parents' support. Dad is reportedly devastated and has not yet spoken to his daughter, but we are talking to her tonight, right here on Issues. My very special guest tonight, Montana Fishburne. Montana, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Still, this incident pushed Pumper into the mainstream. He even got a guest interview with Jamie Foxx on Jamie Foxx's podcast on, I think, Sirius Radio at the time. Pumper then tried to capitalize on this by filming what he referred to as a reality show, The Diaries of a Porn Nigga, something like that. I wouldn't call this a show after trying to find it. It's mostly just him walking around with men I assume are his friends. But again, all these men seem to treat him like lil bro him all the time, so it's hard to say whether or not that's the case. But it's mostly just like him doing street interviews, meeting with fans, the type of stuff that's on TikTok all the time now. It again was true cringe content. It's unwatchable nonsense, but the antics worked. He became a notable meme over and over and over again with tons of attention on World Star. This also brought him attention from mainstream hip hop culture because World Star hip hop was a significant voice in hip hop at the time, even if it was more.
He makes Long Island look bad, by the way. I just want to get that out the way.
So just
But
people
he's probably from Nassau because he did that song with the Mobb Deep niggas. So that's more of a stain on Nassau. That doesn't touch Suffolk. Shit on Suffolk, I'm gonna slap the shit out of you.
Laughing at him and not.
Hey,
he even somehow got the attention of 50 Cent, who was rumored to be willing to sign him to a record deal, which of course never happened. And at some time, again, according to Adam 22, he managed to get a real verse from Prodigy from Mobb Deep. According to 22, he got this verse in 2011, but he held it all the way until a week after Prodigy died, which is gross. I don't know why he would have held that for 6-7 years. But it's at least clear from listening to the verse that this wasn't some stolen or repurposed verse. Prodigy really went to...
This nigga said it was gross. That shit got me. It is. That's it. I didn't even think about that. I was like, damn, nigga, wait. Nigga said that's fucking disgusting.
The booth and recorded this verse for Brian Pumper. So that speaks to the fact that he was... I don't know if taken seriously is the right word, but he was...
You know what? It was probably one of them situations. Because K-Flock, not even to dick suck K-Flock, because I know I said the nigga name earlier. Like, not even K-Flock just in specific. It was just the New York nigga I was thinking of. Niggas, because niggas be giving out free features when they ain't got no clout, nigga. That's why. He just didn't know who the fuck he was doing it with.
In there. He was significant. And like, had he still been around, that significance would have definitely translated to something bigger. It's really, really wild to look back at all of this now in 2024 in a world where being pretty while working at Home Depot or having a really handsome mugshot can make you famous for a few weeks. And if you're smart and you make a few good moves, you can end up with an article in the Rolling Stone magazine. Again, it helps to be white, but still you get my point. Brian Pumper would go viral every few months, whether it's because he's being chased by someone for sleeping with the wrong woman or just posing with eggs for his...
You don't keep a burner, nigga? You can't be cracking niggas' bitches and not expect... Somebody should have been shot at this nigga then.
Signature trend of cracking eggs on the heads of women he did films with. He was a content machine. He just happened to exist in the era where chronically online, irony poison, content farming wasn't established yet. So while he was constantly popping up in viral videos on Facebook, there was very little money involved. The only thing we had that was somewhat lucrative was what was between his legs. But due to being blackballed by the industry...
Pause on you, actually. What the fuck? Could have just said he was cracking shit. Pause. Hey, yo!
And the industry changing, he seemed to be stuck in having to hustle extra hard to make his money. But this seemingly didn't stop him from producing media, and he stated that he has over 1,000 videos vaulted on cell phones and hard drives. However, even if that was true, it also begs the ugly question of the lack of restraint in his behavior and why he may be in jail right now. Pumper was said to often just ride the train and run through malls to harass women in random places until he finds some girl that he thought was attractive enough to shoot a scene with him on the spot, or maybe at a later date, or run to a hotel or a bathroom or a back alley or whatever. And this
that's a nasty nigga, bro. That's a dangerous man walking around.
This is a genre of this type of media, but usually it's staged because that's really dangerous and probably illegal and at a minimum very creepy. And it again calls into question paperwork, not just the paperwork of STD tests, which we know he didn't care much about, but also the appropriate paperwork to show that these women were consenting to be filmed and have these sex acts distributed by other people. And more problematic.
The woman that said yes, I need to see the videos. I need to know where y'all at right now. Cause why? Why would you? Why are you on the MTA and a nigga was like, yo, you look tight, valid, mama. Like no funny shit. I'm trying to get in your guts, either right now or later today. And then you're like, nah, this nigga is valid, and I did need some beef. Got you. And then like, what? In a back alley, you crackhead?
If he wasn't checking for these girls to get a clean STD test, what makes you think he was checking the ages of these women, which is rumored to be why he's in jail right now?
What he would do is
This is just a video of huge black niggas, no gay shit.
go find a girl. He'll ride the subway.
Just look at the height. He sits down taller than, bro. This nigga's damn near off the camera. This nigga about to nigga an inch off the camera. Pose.
He's all day and find some like, come on.
Countless images of him talking to girls on the train. Yeah.
Come on, my God. And he was that's predator minded. That's some predator shit. Like,
Weird
you
place to
wake
be
up
scouting.
in the morning and that's your drive to go get some innocent chick that's up in life to go you in the back of 25 Fitness locker room or something and film it and be cool with that.
Right.
Not caring if she underage, not caring if she got anything, none of that.
I want to be clear, I cannot find solid and verifiable sources on what he's in jail for or if he's even really in jail. All I've seen are small YouTube channels reading alleged courtroom documents and prison documents, along with Reddit posts and other hearsay from people's podcasts talking about him. There is a record of a man named Michael Felton, who was the same age as Brian, doing time in California corrections facilities, but without a photo, it's hard to ascertain if it's him. Michael Felton isn't some type of like unique name. One video I saw broke down the statutes of some of these alleged cases, and it did match them to penal codes around sex trafficking of underage minors, but there's also indication that the man in question is eligible for parole in August of 2024. And when I went and looked up the sentencing codes for these types of crimes, the sentencing ranges anywhere from 5 to 20 years for a single charge. And what I saw showed several charges, so it wouldn't add up that Pumper would be out so soon for such crimes, if that's him. But also, for those who don't know and haven't watched my Fuck the Police video, the criminal justice system is far more lenient on these types of crimes than people think. So I really don't know. I genuinely don't know. So while I won't back away from this dude being a weirdo and a creep, it wouldn't be good journalism to call him a convicted predator without more solid evidence, and I just don't have that. The only thing we know is that he seemingly disappeared from the internet in 2020 and hasn't posted anything anywhere since then. Quick editing debate thing at the last minute. I was just trying to make sure I did as much as I could to ascertain where this man is and what he's been up to. And of course, again, through Adams 22, I came across this video of him getting arrested, and it seems to be him getting arrested in California. And the timeline of this matches up to being 2020 during COVID, which is again, probably around the last time he posted anything online. Now, it still does not explain what he was arrested for, whether or not he went to jail regarding this arrest, but it at least does say that maybe the Michael Felton that we are looking at in this information is Brian Pumper. Again, a lot of the other stuff just to me seems inconclusive and just trying to be responsible and not get sued myself. I don't want to say more than what I feel like I can read.
I do want to say this justice system is fucked, and the fact that like most people don't even know that, and the fact that I know that now, and the fact that you know that, shit gotta change, bro.
Reasonably proved. So just wanted to put that out there. And in all honesty, while I don't believe in prisons, it's good that this dude is not at least in the public eye. I shudder to think what he would be capable of in 2024, the type of damage that he would have done in the last couple of years during like the rise of the red pill, and like how many times would he have been on Fresh and Fit's podcast? You know that would have been a thing. As I said before, he was genuinely a man out of time. He seemingly has no shame, no sense of self-awareness, no concern for being embarrassed, no reflex to protect his ego. He is wired.
There's really niggas out there like that though. Like that don't niggas that really just don't give a fuck. Some niggas shoot niggas, some niggas do this. Like niggas do all like bro, it's just niggas out there that don't give a fuck.
Like a lot of the internet's worst people are wired. They genuinely do not care as long as people are paying attention, and as long as that attention gets them clicks, and as long as those clicks get them money. Combine that with corn in a world where that type of media is more accessible and pervasive than ever, where any pretty girl that goes viral, the first question she's asked is if she has an OnlyFans. And with audiences that have just as little shame and self-awareness as Brian Pumper, this is like in my head, Brian Pumper is like a Behelit from Berserk. He's like this evil, demonic force that has miraculously been locked away for a long time. And I shudder.
Whoa, what is this? This is the new one? They made a new one? But wait, hold on. What is a ballad? Is that the shit on Griffith's Next?
To think that at some point in time
What is-
in
what-
the
yo,
possible
what the
near
fuck? How do you
future,
watch this?
he is going
Oh,
to be
it's right.
unleashed on the world.
I was right.
And it's going to be like that one
I didn't
scene in
watch
Berserk
that.
that,
I would've watched
everybody
that.
hates, but everybody also remembers.
I saw that shit like a year
Imagine
ago.
if Andrew Tate, Low Tier God, Academics, and Johnny Sins combined into one unholy homunculus of awfulness.
How is he low tier God? Low tier God's I guess because like the way he, the way. And low tier God is like 58. So, I do have a reaction coming out with that nigga. Jokes.
That is what awaits us possibly in less than 30 days from now. I'm not sure. We shall see. Having researched this video, it really makes you want to look more into the way that adult media has become so easily accessible and so pervasive, and also the conservative counter narrative to this that somehow recognizes the problem of too much pornography in the world, but also wants to make it this anti-feminist, regressive, conservative clarion call, and that maybe there's a need for a more mediated voice in that conversation. But that's not something I could ever do on YouTube. And I know this because one of my favorite creators, Brody Deschanel, had the same idea when she wanted to talk about sexuality in the media, but without a ton of censorship, or saying corn 100 times and sounding like an idiot. Understand, if I don't do that, the algorithm turns into fucking Nancy Reagan and loses its shit because you said the wrong thing, which means you can't guarantee that your video will be seen at all because it might get age restricted, or if you're lucky and it doesn't get age restricted, it'll just be demonetized.
Well, I said corn like 20 times, so if you see this, you see this. Thank you for letting me know this video is not going to do good. Because I've been fucking up. And I'm not going to edit this shit.
You basically get $0 off of it.
And
that's when Brody
$0
Deschanel
though.
decided to make her series taboo. She knew that there was only one place she would put it, and that's the same place I'm going to put my future content on our streaming service, Nebula. If you watched before, then you probably already heard me mention Nebula as the independent streaming service that serves a unique space for creators like myself to make independent content without the restraints of the YouTube system. This means no ridiculous censorship or ad breaks or ad reads like this one, no like or dislike buttons, no worrying about how unfair copyright rules are going to mess up the video. It's just some of YouTube's most talented and forward-thinking creators making their content in the way that they envision and worrying less about all the small and big challenges that come with making content on YouTube. And this means making uncensored versions or extended versions of our videos. For example, I have so many videos where I've had to blur out simple logos or other pieces of media because YouTube saw it as copyright infringement, which made it for an uglier product. I've also had more controversial stuff like my video on Tupac and masculinity put there because certain people in the comment section couldn't handle the idea of Tupac's thug erotic image being something to discuss. And obviously,
why do you keep saying erotic?
It's not just me. Nebula has history, science, travel, media, and cultural analysis creators. Some of the best, most notable creators on the internet, on YouTube, are making not just their normal YouTube videos, but independent films and docu-series, much of which you can't find anywhere else. And they're making it independent without huge, large corporate backing or oversight. And that's why we come directly to you for support. By clicking the link in my description, you can get 40% off.
My comments, this is the classroom. One thing we learned about today was self-control, self-awareness, and I actually don't know. Brian Pumper or Mike is that's a dangerous man. I don't really know what else to say to this, so I'm just gonna exit out. I'm gonna fade away in the darkness.